Hello, mighty companions. This is Earl Purdy, and I want to welcome you to Hardcore Course in Miracles. I want to welcome you to Hardcore Course in Miracles, and tonight we're going to talk about what the Course in Miracles says about planning. Like, where does planning fit in all of this? So we're going to talk about what the Course in Miracles says about planning and how to plan and how you can tell when something is really according to the Spirit's plan for you. And so we're going to talk about that, and we're going to start out with some music from Brother John Christmas, and it's from A Course in Miracles, and it talks about teach only love. Teach only love. We're going to talk about teach only love, and we're going to take about a minute or two to let everybody tune in. This is what we're going to do. Teach only love. That is what you are. Teach only love.
Yes, that is what you are. Teach
Only love. That is what you are. Welcome to A Course in Miracles. We're going to talk about planning.
Teach
Only love. Where does planning come in?
everywhere we go. Teach
Only love.
to everyone you know.
Teach only love. Love is what you are. Because love is what you are. Yeah. Let me recognize the problem so the problem can be solved. Let me recognize the problem so the problem can be solved. Teach only love. Every day, teach only love. In every special way, teach only love. Love is what you are. We're going to talk about healing. We're going to talk about planning and where does planning fit in. How do you do planning correctly? How can you tell that the plan that you have is coming from Spirit, that the plan that you have is coming from God? How would you know? Teach only love.
Well, that is what you are. Teach only love. Yeah, you're a shining star. Only love.
Love is what you are. Let me recognize the problem so the problem can be solved. Let me recognize the problem so the problem can be solved. This is Earl Purdy. I'm so glad that you're here with me for Hardcore Course in Miracles. And we're going to talk about how the healed mind actually doesn't plan, and the healed mind doesn't have to plan. So what? Yeah, that's what the Course in Miracles is telling us. So we're going to talk about planning and what the Course in Miracles says about it. And we're going to be on lesson 135 in the workbook for students, in the blue book from the Course in Miracles. And we're going to start off with paragraph 11 on page 253. We're going to do paragraph 11 on page 253 in the Course in Miracles workbook, the blue book, the Foundation for Inner Peace version of the course. And it's going to be telling us about planning and where planning fits in. And we're going to start out with paragraph 11. But I'm going to give you the guidelines for the Course in Miracles. This is the guidelines. These are the guidelines. These are the rules by which you study the Course in Miracles. Let me get this up so I can monitor and make sure that I can see you. I want you to remember this. You need not believe the ideas from A Course in Miracles that I'm about to give you. You need not accept the ideas, and you need not even welcome the ideas. You need not believe it, you need not accept it, you need not welcome it. Some of the ideas that I share with you from A Course in Miracles, you may actively resist some of the ideas that I share with you from A Course in Miracles. Some of the ideas you will find hard to believe. Some of the ideas you may find hard to believe, and some of the ideas may really startle you. Some of the things that I say from A Course in Miracles may startle you. Do you know you are not being asked to judge the ideas at all? We're not together so that we can judge and analyze the ideas. I call myself the divine repetition teacher. I'm your remembering coach. I have been a teacher and a student of A Course in Miracles for over 42 years. And I'm here to save you time and also to allow miracles to enter your life. You are entitled to miracles. You are entitled to miracles. You are entitled to perfect happiness, joy, healing, abundance. You are entitled to love. You are entitled to miracles. So this is about how do we allow ourselves to let miracles and peace and joy and happiness come into our experience, especially in this world that it looks like we in right now. So keep in mind that some of the ideas you will find hard to believe. And some of the ideas are going to startle you, but you're not being asked to judge and analyze the ideas at all. So what are you being asked to do? To use the ideas, regardless of your response to or reaction to the ideas. Think these ideas, use these ideas, because their use will give the ideas meaning to you. And using the ideas, that's what's going to show you that the ideas are true. We're in lesson 135. If I defend myself, I'm attacked. That's the title of the lesson. But we're going to start at paragraph 11, because paragraph 11 talks about planning and what is the role of planning and how do you plan. All right, here we go. What is it that a healed mind? I teach in a question and answer format, which makes it a lot easier to hear it. So what is the very first line? It says in paragraph 11, lesson 135 on page 253 of A Course in Miracles workbook, it says, a healed mind does not plan. So that means that when your mind is healed, when you're coming from your loving mind, from your healed mind, a healed mind does not plan. Do you know that a healed mind, now notice it says a healed mind does not plan. It didn't say an unhealed mind does not plan. The Course says a healed mind does not plan. So what does a healed mind do? When you have a healed mind, you're going to carry out the plan. So when you have a healed mind, it doesn't mean that there won't be any structure in your experience. It says when you're healed, you don't plan, but what you do when you're healed, what is it that you do when you're healed? When you're healed, you carry out the plans that you receive. So a healed mind, a mind that is free of fear, a mind that is full of love, a mind that is following the guidance of the Holy Spirit, the higher self. That mind carries out the plans that it receives through listening to wisdom that is not its own. So what do you do when you have a healed plan, a healed mind? When you have a healed mind, you are not going to be planning, but you're going to be carrying out a plan. And you're going to be carrying out a plan that you receive through listening to the Holy Spirit, your higher self. Because you're going to be listening to wisdom that is not your own wisdom. So when a mind is healed, that mind is a mind that's carrying out the plans that it receives from the Creator, God. When a man is healed, it doesn't plan. When you are healed, you carry out a plan, and the plan that you receive through listening to wisdom that is not your own. So what would you do, and what does the healed mind do? Well, the healed mind waits until it has been taught what should be done, and then proceeds to do it. So when your mind is healed, you are carrying out God's plan. You listen to wisdom that's not your own. If you are a Course in Miracles student and that's your spiritual path, or whatever your spiritual path is, then you want to carry out the plan that you're receiving from that spiritual path, because you are listening to wisdom that is not your own personal wisdom. So when you are ready to receive the plan for your happiness from the divine, you wait until you've been taught what you should do, and then you do it. A healed mind doesn't plan. Do you know that a healed mind doesn't plan? A healed mind carries out the plan that it receives through listening to wisdom that is not its own. You wait until you've been taught what should be done, and then you proceed to do it. I'm using my Kindle. I'll say it again. A healed mind doesn't plan. The Course says a healed mind carries out the plans that it receives through listening to wisdom that's not its own. So what do? You wait until you've been taught what should be done. What is the Course in Miracles doing? The Course in Miracles is teaching you what should be done by you in order to be happy. The Course in Miracles is telling you through giving you wisdom that's beyond your own personal wisdom. So a person that's smart, a person that has a mind that's been healed, is a person who's not coming up with their own little personal plans. This is a person that is carrying out the plan that it receives through listening to wisdom that is greater than its own wisdom. And the Course in Miracles is coming from a higher mind, God, the divine, and it is the wisdom that is beyond your own. That's why, as a Course in Miracles student, or somebody that's really wanting to be happy, you wait. I love how it says, the healed mind waits until when? The healed mind waits until it's been taught what should be done. So first, you're going to be taught through the Course in Miracles or your particular spiritual path what should be done. And the ones you've been taught, the ones that you've learned what should be done, then you do it. That's the steps. Now, what is another characteristic of a healed mind? When your mind has been healed, when it comes to plan and carrying out the plan, you're going to be given a plan by God. You're going to be given a plan by Spirit. And you don't depend upon yourself for anything. When you're carrying out God's plan, you're not dependent on you for anything, except one thing. When you're carrying out the plan, the divine plan for your life that you're going to receive through your higher self, then it's going to teach you what should be done, and then you proceed to do it. And the Course in Miracles, for those who are Course in Miracles students, the Course in Miracles is the plan. And you don't depend upon yourself for anything. When you're carrying out God's plan, because you have a healed mind, you don't depend upon yourself for anything except one thing. And this is very important, because you want to be able to tell the difference between when you're following your ego's plan, when you're following your own personal plan, and when you're following the plan of God, which is the plan of love. when you're getting a plan from the divine, when the universe is giving you your plan, your personal plan, the plan for your joy, the plan for your happiness, the plan for your safety, you don't depend on yourself for anything except one thing, that you will be adequate to fulfill the plan that's been assigned to you. So does that mean that if you get a plan that's coming from the divine, does that mean if you're following your true plan, the divine plan, the plan of spirit, then you're going to be adequate? You're going to be able to do, you're going to be able to follow, you're going to be able to do the plan that is assigned to you. Any plan that's coming from God, any plan that's coming from the truth, any plan that's coming from your higher self is going to be a plan that you are adequate to do, and it's going to be a plan that is coming from wisdom that's greater than your own wisdom. And if it's a plan that's coming from God, there's only one thing that you should depend upon yourself to do, which is you will always be able to do a plan that comes from God, a plan that comes from your true self, a plan that comes from your greater self, a plan that's coming from spirit, is always going to be a plan that you're adequate to do. Any plan that is your divine plan is going to be a plan for you to follow, that you're going to be adequate to follow that plan. You're going to be able to do the plan for your happiness that comes from the Creator. Because I am focusing in on the practical application of the Course in Miracles principles. The Course in Miracles workbook gives you specific applications and instructions about how you can allow yourself to experience miracles of love and joy and happiness and peace and abundance in your life. Take it slow. Are you with me? Are you following me? And that's right, Bridget. God's plan for you is perfect happiness. All right? And it's true. You can carry out a plan that's given to you by God. If you're following your divine plan, you're going to be adequate to do it. A plan that is not the divine plan, a plan that is not coming from God, a plan that is not coming from your greater self, you won't be adequate to do it. It'll be a struggle. It will be hard. It will be something that you don't see yourself as succeeding in doing. But a plan that's coming to you from spirit, a plan that's coming to you from your Creator, is going to be what? It's going to be a plan that you are adequate to do. When your mind is healed and you have completed the Course in Miracles and you learned how to forgive and see things correctly, and you learned how to get rid of the blocks to following your guidance, your inner guidance, that's what a healed mind. A healed mind is free of fear. A healed mind is a peaceful mind. A healed mind is a mind that has learned how to rid themselves of the blocks of grievance and unforgiveness that keeps them from hearing God's voice. So don't forget, this is telling you what a healed mind is like. And you may not have a healed mind in your perception right now, but that's what you're studying A Course in Miracles for, so that you can allow your mind to be corrected and allow your mind to be healed, so that you can hear the plan for your happiness that God is giving you, and know that any plan that comes from God, any plan that comes from God is going to be a plan that you are adequate to do, but you don't depend on yourself for anything else other than you are adequate to follow the plan. You would be secure. What would you be secure in? Well, if you have a healed mind and you know you're following the divine plan, then you are certain that obstacles cannot impede your progress. Okay? So if you have a healed mind and you're following the guidance that's coming from a wisdom that's greater than yours, then the plan for your happiness is going to be a plan that you're adequate to do, And the only thing you have to focus on is your part. Everything else will be taken care of. And when you're following the divine plan, when you're following the true plan for your happiness, you feel secure. What is it that you feel secure in? You feel secure in the certainty that there will be no obstacles that can impede your progress. You will never have obstacles that can block you from accomplishing any goal that serves the greater plan. And the greater plan is a plan that's been established for the good of everyone. So what is that telling me? Well, it's telling me that if I'm doing what God wants me to do, there won't be any obstacles that can block my progress. It will be something that I'm adequate to do, and it will be coming from a wisdom greater than my own. It won't be a plan that I'm trying to make up out of desperation and fear. It will be a plan that I'm adequate to do. It will also be a plan that nothing can block the accomplishment of that plan. And what is God's plan? God's plan is a plan for not only your perfect happiness, but God's plan is a plan that establishes good for everyone. Any plan that comes to us from love, anything that comes from love, God is love, and anything that comes from love is going to be something that's for the good of everyone. So that's how you can tell the difference between a plan that's coming from the wrong voice and a plan that's coming from the right voice. Because a plan that's coming from the love in you, that's coming from the truth in you, that's coming from the divine in you, that's going to be a plan that you are adequate to do. And there won't be a lot of obstacles that will be impeding your progress if you are following the plan that comes from God. And a plan that comes from love, a plan that comes from God, serves everyone. It is for the good of everyone, not just you personally, but everyone. So let me take a look here just a second. Look at any comments. Okay. So what is a healed mind relieved of? What is it that a truly loving mind, what is it that a healed man, a loving man, a sane man is relieved of the belief that it must plan? So when you have a healed mind and you've done what the Course in Miracles has told you to do, and you've gotten rid of the blocks, and you're able to hear God's voice in you, and you're able to receive your divine guidance, you will be relieved of the belief that you must plan, that you have to come up with your own plans. When your mind is healed, you will be relieved of the belief that you have to come up with your own plan for happiness, because you will be acting on the plan that's coming from God. And that plan will be a plan that you are adequate to do. Everything else that you need will be taken care of. You will feel secure when you're following the true plan, because when you're following the true plan, there won't be any obstacles that can impede your progress. You will never have anything that will block your progress if you have a goal that's coming from God and it serves the greater plan established for the good of everyone. So what is it that a healed mind is relieved of? A healed mind is relieved of the belief that it must plan. Even though the healed mind can't know the outcome which is best, the healed mind doesn't even know the means by which the goal is achieved. And the healed mind doesn't really recognize the problem that the plan is made to solve. Okay, so what the heck does that mean? It's very simple. When you become truly awakened and you really learned how to follow the guidance of spirit that the Course in Miracles is teaching you how to remove the blocks to hearing the guidance of spirit, then you'll recognize you really don't know what your own best interest is. You think you know what you think that job might be for your own best interest, but it really might not be for your own best interest at all. How many times has that happened? You may think that relationship with that particular person is for your own best interest, and you find out later that wasn't for your own best interest in your perception at all. The Course in Miracles is trying to get us to understand that we don't really know the outcomes that's best for us. We just think we do. That people are just trying to make that up as they go along. Then the Course in Miracles is saying you don't even know how you would really achieve uh, the plan. That you don't even recognize what the real problem is that that the plan is even made to solve. So you're basically following instructions from Spirit, God, and love, which is the same thing. But you know your part in the plan is going to be something that you can do. And if you're following God's plan, you won't be dealing with a lot of obstacles because you will be following the plan that's for your own good and your own perfect happiness. But this plan would also be good for everyone's happiness. Now, you're going to miss a person who doesn't know that what I've just shared is true. The Course says, when it says the mind, it's really talking about you. You could just as easily say I. A person that's healed is relieved of the belief it must plan. Even though that person can't know the outcome which is best, the means by which you achieve that outcome don't even recognize the real problem that the plan of God is made to solve. So you could just as easily say a person with a healed mind, a person who has a mind that is open and receptive and has gotten rid of the blocks to hearing the voice of their higher self, that's a mind that's not going to plan. That's going to be a person that's carrying out the plans that it receives through listening to the wisdom of God, which is the wisdom of the universe, the wisdom of spirit, that the Course in Miracles is teaching you how to do. In case you're asking, well, how do I just learn how to listen to the voice for God? How do I learn how to listen to my higher self? Well, it's through doing exactly what you're doing now. It's through taking the time to give the Course in Miracles or whatever your spiritual path is, that you're taking the time to give it some attention and study. Within the Course itself is everything you need to know, think, and do that would allow you to remove the blocks to hearing the voice for God and your inner guidance. So don't you know it's not saying that you're supposed to do this without help, because that's what the Course in Miracles itself is. It's teaching you how to remove the blocks to the awareness of the presence of God and the presence of your guidance. It's not going to be something that just happens just because I say it to you or that just because the Course says it. It's going to happen because you're willing to do what it says, which is to recognize that there will not be any obstacles if you're doing your divine plan. And if you are full of and dealing with constant obstacles when it comes to your plans, then you're just not following the plan that is for your happiness. You're not following your guidance. You're not following the divine plan. So if you're not following the divine plan, the Course says, this mind, in paragraph 12, it says, this mind must misuse the body in its plans until it recognizes this. Recognizes what? That you're only supposed to be following the plan of God, the plan of love, and the plan of truth. And if you're following any other plan, you're misusing your body. If you're following any other plan other than the plan of love, then you're misusing your body by following some plans that are based on fear and separation. So sickness, lack, grievances, attack, all that stuff is coming from a mind that is following its own plan and not following love's plan or God's plan. So the Course is saying the mind must misuse the body in its plans until it recognizes this is so. But when the mind has accepted this is true, accepted what is true, that the healed mind doesn't plan, it carries out a plan that it receives from God, and that you're going to be adequate to be successful at that plan, because any plan that comes to you from your true self is going to be a plan that you're not going to have obstacles that block your progress, because your goal is going to be not only just your own happiness, but also you want to also be a means for everybody's healing and everybody's happiness. Even though you don't really know what everybody's own best interest is, and you don't even know what your own best interest is. But that's not necessary. You're just supposed to do your part, and your part is going to be something that brings you joy and brings you happiness and brings you peace, because the Course has a workbook lesson that says, my happiness and my function are one. So when you're fulfilling your function, you are experiencing joy and happiness. Fulfilling your function, your true function, is something that's going to give you joy, and it's going to be something that gives you complete happiness. It's not complicated. I'm sorry, the Course in Miracles is not complicated. If you need really complicated ideas, then this is not going to be a satisfying teaching for you. The Course in Miracles, it wants you to do things that's simple for you to do, that you're able to do, and that you're willing to do. And it's going to be something that you can do right now, and it's going to be something that gives you peace and happiness to do it. Every time I do this, I don't care what types of worries or concerns or what kind of mood I'm in. When I start being the channel for the Course in Miracles to come through me, like it's been for over 4 decades, I have never once in 40 years not felt better after I allowed myself to fulfill my function. How do I know that teaching the Course in Miracles is my function? Well, because it's something that I feel adequate to do. I feel like being able to be a voice for the Course is something that I can do. And I'm doing it not just for my happiness, but I want to be used for your happiness and for everybody's happiness. And I don't know what's best for you. I don't know the means by which total and complete happiness for myself in detail and for you is going to happen. There's a part of me that doesn't even recognize what the problem really is, because if I did, the problem would be solved, just like you. Any problem or situation that you're dealing with that you haven't been able to solve, anything that you have not been able to resolve, then you don't really recognize what the problem really is. So the Course says the minute that you don't follow the truth plan, then you are misusing your body. And the misuse of the body is what causes the pain and the suffering that we ever go through in our physical life and with our physical body. But when the mind has accepted this is true, then the mind is healed. So when will your mind be healed? When would a person be healed? When they have accepted what we just heard as the truth. If a person is not accepting or believing what's true, then they're going to have a life that's full of fear and anxiety and guilt and struggle. It's really not complicated. What we're perceiving in the world is the result of perceptual errors. We're seeing the result of fearful, unhealed minds clashing with each other and not loving each other. That's the picture of pain and suffering and fear that we see in the world. It's because you're seeing the result of not carrying out the plan, but watching a lot of people making up their own little personal plans, and they're making up their own little personal plans for their own personal interests and personal happiness that doesn't include everybody else's happiness. And so they are misusing their bodies. And when you misuse your body, you experience fear, guilt, anger, sickness, attack, and lack, and anything else that's making a person unhappy. It's not complicated. If we were doing it right, if we were thinking right, if we were following guidance, if we were listening to the truth, then we would be healed, we would be happy, and we would be peaceful. So, but we're not being condemned and we're not being judged. God's not mad at us. The universe isn't trying to punish us. The universe is trying to help us. And I'm going to use the word God. And I want you to use whatever word that works for you. But I'm either going to use God or love right now, because I want to believe in a power that's greater than me. I don't want to believe that I've got to do it all by myself and figure it out all by myself. That's what got us into fear and unhappiness and depression in the first place, according to the Course in Miracles, is that we do think we are alone and we've got to do it on our own, that we're not the creators of what's happening to us, that it's being something that's being done to us from something or someone outside of us. He says that's what's causing our pain, is believing that everything outside of us and everybody outside of us has to be different in order for us to be happy. So that's not God's plan. The Course in Miracles says that's the unhealed mind's plan. The plan that the unhealed mind does, the plan that the mind that doesn't know the truth does, that mind is always trying to get everybody else to be the way that they want them to be, or to change everything on the outer, or try to get somebody to be different, or some situation or circumstance to be different on the outside in order to be happy, rather than making the changes within their own mind and within themselves. So what is it that makes the body sick? Do you know that the Course in Miracles is getting ready to tell us what makes the body sick? And the reason why I'm doing this live is so that we can interact with each other, and you can interact with each other if you so choose. Because without us taking advantage of the fact that you can interact with each other, there's really no point in doing a live broadcast, right? So remember, I'm inviting you to participate, even if it's, just saying what you think or what you feel, because we need to take advantage of the fact that we're all here live right now together. So what is it that makes the body sick? Well, the Course says enslavement of the body to the plans the unhealed mind sets up to save itself must make the body sick. And the Course says that our perception is not just your physical body that's your body, it's your perception that's your body, because you live within your perception, just like it looks like you live within your body. So it's not just talking about physical illness. Are you aware that the Course in Miracles says sickness is any form of lack of peace, any form of fear, any form of anger, any form of separation, any form of lack, any form of attack, any form of separation? That's sickness. So just because your body feel good doesn't mean that you're not quote unquote sick. Because if you're full of anger, grievances, or guilt, or worry, or concern, or depression, or feeling like you're alone, you have a sick mind. And then that sick mind affects our physical body and our physical circumstances. But what is it that makes the body sick? Well, the Course says enslaving your body and using your body for plans that you set up to save yourself without checking in with and following your higher self, your true self, your God self. So where does sickness and unhappiness come from? It comes from following the wrong plan, your plan, the plan that you make up without asking God, the divine, your higher self. It's the plan that we make up. But then the Course says, well, let me tell you what the plan you make up is, so that you'll be sure to understand what I mean when I tell you that it's enslavement to your plan. What the Course in Miracles calls our plan is what I just said a few minutes ago. Our plan is, if this were different, I would be happy. If this person spoke or acted differently, I would be happy. Our plan is to believe that there are things outside of ourselves that's creating our reality and our happiness or unhappiness, and to try to change everything on the outer without changing anything on the inner. That's what it does. The Course isn't talking about, in my perception, the Course is not talking about your plan to own your own business, or your plan to go back to college, or your plan to travel. It's not talking about that level. It's talking about you thinking that your happiness is being caused by something or someone other than you. That's what the Course calls our plan. I'm using my body to try to manipulate everything and everybody outside of myself in order for me to feel good and to be successful. I think it's going to come from personal power, money, specialness, fame, and physical pleasure. That's what the Course calls the unhealed mind's plan. So I hope you're clear. Are you clear about that? When I talk about our plan, I'm talking about thinking that anything or anyone outside of you are responsible for what you feel. You are responsible for how you see things. You are the one that decides on the goals and purposes that you would achieve. And everything that happens to you, you are asking for it and receiving it as you have asked. Because depending on whether or not you're willing to follow your guidance, that's what's determining what happens to you, whether it's something that you enjoy and that is peaceful for you, or whether or not you give yourself pain and conflict through it. When you use your body for anything other than truth and love, that's what makes the body or your personal experience be a challenge for you. And when you're busy using your body to just save you or to make you happy and not anyone else, the Course says it is not free. The mind is not free. The mind that's trying to just save itself, the unhealed mind, that's trying to change everything else and make everybody else be different so that it can be happy, it's not free. Free for what? When you're not following your divine plan, your mind is not free to be the means of helping in a plan which far exceeds its own protection. If all I'm focusing in on is my little personal manipulation of everything outside of myself, because think about it, whenever you are angry or upset, isn't it always because somebody is not acting out the script that you have set up for them? You know, whenever I'm mad at anybody, it's basically because they're not doing what I want them to do. Whenever people are mad and upset with anybody about anything, it's just basically because that person is not doing what you want them to do, right? You upset because you wanted that person was supposed to call you at 8 o'clock and they didn't call you at 8 o'clock. Now you're mad. For some people, a week ago, if they didn't get a Valentine's Day gift to get taken out for Valentine's Day, or their lover or partner didn't give them a card or flower, then they're upset, right? If I wanted that promotion and I didn't get that promotion, that means they didn't do what I wanted them to do. They didn't give me the promotion. So really, whenever we're angry, whenever we're upset, it's always because somebody's not doing what we want them to do. And that's what the Course calls the ego plan. The ego plan is, the wrong plan is, I want everybody and everything to serve me, and I want everybody and everything to do just what I want them to do, just the way I want them to do it. And my plan is to get them to do that. And usually I'll try to get them to do what I want them to do through some form of anger, or I'll make them feel so guilty and let them see how upset I am, or I'll withhold. Somehow or another, my plan is to basically manipulate people when they don't do what I want them to do so that they'll do what I want them to do. And the Course calls that our plan. I'm just trying to, I just want to be happy. I want you to do what makes me happy. I want you to do what satisfies me, even if it doesn't satisfy you. That the Course in Miracles calls that our plan, the plan of separation, the plan of grievances. And then it's trying to tell us now that there's another plan you can receive from the same part of you, the loving part of you, the spiritual part of you, the truth part of you. That part of you called God, called Spirit. It's going to give you a plan. And when you receive the plan that comes from your higher self, when you receive the real plan, then you're going to be adequate to do that plan. And you will also not be experiencing a lot of obstacles to impede your progress. And it'll also be a plan that will give you perfect and total complete happiness. And at the same time, that it will also benefit everyone else also. So does that mean you just have to be willing to be a part of a plan that brings everyone happiness and not just yourself only? Yes. Is this telling me that every time that I use my body for anger, guilt, grievances, manipulation, and trying to control and dominate other people to get them to do what I want them to do, and I think that my happiness comes from everything but me, that's what makes my body sick, and that's what creates lack and grievances and unhappiness and problems in relationships? That is exactly what we're being told. I'm not making this up. It's right here on the page. It says, when you are trying to follow the ego's plan, it says, then you're not free to be the means of helping in a plan which far exceeds your own protection. And it's also a plan that comes from your true self, a plan that comes from the divine, a plan that comes from God, that's going to bring fulfillment and happiness to you and serve everyone else. He says, in this capacity, what is assured? Health is assured. So what is it that will assure a person's health? What will assure a person's health is when they are willing to be a means of helping in the divine plan, which far exceeds just you looking out for yourself by yourself. That's the plan of God, the plan of love. The divine plan needs your service for a little while. And when you're allowing yourself to be used by God and for truth and for love and peace, what happens? Well, right there on the page, it says, in this capacity, what is assured? Health is assured. For everything the mind employs for the divine plan of love and forgiveness, God's plan, will function flawlessly. That's what it says. In this capacity, health is assured. For everything the mind employs for love, for peace, for the plan that they get from God, everything you use for this function will function flawlessly. And with the strength that has been given that mind and cannot fail. I'll say it again. Cannot fail. If you want to make sure that you never fail and that you always experience success, then all you have to do is allow yourself to follow a plan that you're receiving, that you're getting from the Holy Spirit, that you're getting from your higher self. The Course in Miracles, doing what it says, will get rid of all the blocks to you being able to hear that guidance. And it will be something that you are adequate to do. Everything else that you need will be given you. And if you're using your body for true happiness and true joy, following the plan of the higher power, then your body will not be sick. Your physical situation and your perception will not be something that's causing you pain or fear or lack. And everything you do for this function will function flawlessly and with a strength that cannot fail. I'm going to continue to cover this part that's talking about how to do plans and how to do perfect plans that you cannot fail at. I'm going to stop here, but we're going to continue. I want you to read this. I want you to study this, because I'm going to continue with this. Because people are always planning, and they're wondering why their plans don't work out, or their goals don't work out, and why they still get sick, or they be broke, or they have challenging relationships. This is covering all of that. All right? I'm Earl Purdy. I'm a full-time teacher. I'm going to do a quick recap. I'm a full-time teacher. I'm a full-time teacher. I'm a full-time teacher of A Course in Miracles. If you'd like to make a financial expression of appreciation, much gratitude, you can use Venmo, the Cash App, PayPal, or Zelle. All you need is my email address, earlpurdy@earlpurdy.com. That's Earl Purdy, Purdy, @earlpurdy.com. I'm also available for personal coaching and working with you in one-on-one in situations that you're going through that you know you'd like to have support and have those things healed. Have a one-on-one session with me, and I'll bring 42 years of working with people into a personal session with you. You don't have a problem that cannot be solved. You do not have a problem that there's not another way to look at it that would give you more peace. You are entitled to miracles. We can work together for that goal. So it's called a clarity session. Go to my website, www.earlpurdy.com, and you can get more details about my clarity sessions, and you can self-book a session with me right from my website. Sundays at 1 p.m. Mountain Time, I do another Facebook Live, A Course in Miracles presentation on the Earl Purdy page on Facebook. And I also upload all of my classes to YouTube also. So, and if you're in the Denver, Colorado area, you can attend in person at 1555 Race Street, 1555 Race Street, here in Denver, Colorado, 80206. That's on Sunday. And then on Thursdays, we do hardcore Course in Miracles. I'm here especially for Course in Miracles students, to help your journey through the course be a lot less confusing and a lot less challenging. I'm here to be truly helpful. I'm here to represent God and love that sent me. I know I don't have to worry about what to say or what to do, because God, Spirit, love, the divine who sent me will direct me, and I will be healed as I let Spirit teach me to heal. This is the healer's prayer from A Course in Miracles. I'm also an astrologer and a numerologist. That's also a very legitimate way of receiving information from Spirit and the universe. Okay, so for people who are also open to that aspect of my gifts, I'm available for that also. It's perfectly okay, though, if you're not open to it. That's okay. That's all right. Everything is good. Okay, so here we go. And everything I do is on the Earl Purdy page. And like I said, please share these videos. Share these videos. Spread the word. A Course in Miracles works. A Course in Miracles work. When you're asking yourself, what should I do? How do I do that? You do it by listening to this over and over again, because I gave very clear instructions from A Course in Miracles. And that's why I want to continue with this, because you will not just be trying to do things without having very specific guidance. The Course in Miracles gets rid of the blocks to hearing God's voice, your inner guide's voice in you. You will be told exactly what to do. You'll be told exactly where to go. You will be told exactly what to say, and you will be told exactly who to say it to. And if your guidance is coming from God, if your guidance is coming from a higher power from within you, how will you know that? You will know it. You will know it because you will be totally able to do the plan that comes from Spirit for your happiness. You won't have to depend on anything else or focus on anything else but doing your part. When you're following the true plan for your life, There won't be any obstacles that can impede your progress, because you will be trying to accomplish a goal that not only brings you joy and happiness, but also be a goal that brings joy and happiness. It will be a plan that brings joy and happiness to everyone. So you will be happy also. But when you follow God's plan, the plan of a loving God, okay, not the plan of a God that you see as punishing you, attacking you, threatening you, that you're supposed to be terrified of, because you know that you don't like to follow people that you are afraid of. You don't even want to be around somebody that you feel threatened and afraid of. So you think that's the characteristics of our Creator? That our Creator is someone to be scared of? How much do you like to listen to someone who's frightening you? So we're talking about a God of love, a Creator of love, of unconditional love. So, mighty companion, listen to this at least 4 times. This lesson that I'm going over is lesson 135. So when you get a chance, it's called If I Defend Myself, I'm Attacked. I started on paragraph 11 that starts out with a healed mind doesn't plan. It carries out plans that it receives through listening to wisdom that is not your own. So if you want to be happy, peaceful, have a peaceful, loving life, you've got to learn how to listen to wisdom that is greater than your own. There is wisdom that is greater than your ego's wisdom. And when you're carrying out the true plan that comes from the divine, you will know it because you will be adequate. You'll be able to do it. That's how you know it's coming from God, because you will be able to follow this plan, and you won't be dealing with a lot of obstacles when you're following the true plan. But remember that a true plan that comes from God is not just about only your happiness, your healing. It's for the happiness and healing of everything and everyone. Don't forget that sickness comes from not following the plan of love, but following the plan of the ego, the plan of fear, the plan of guilt, the plan that a mind makes when it thinks it's all alone. And it's okay. You don't perceive everybody's own best interest, but if you do your part, you'll be doing what's best for everyone else. And when you use your body and your life for love and for truth and for the divine plan, your health is assured. Everything you use for your true plan will function flawlessly, and you cannot fail. Mighty companion, I love you. I appreciate you. This is Earl Purdy, and I hope I get a chance to work with you on a one-on-one. And if you'd like to be on my list for when I do workshops and more advanced one-on-one, more advanced classes, then shoot me an email at earlpurdy@earlpurdy.com, and I'll add you to my list. May the course be with you. I appreciate you so much.